Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This will be a lengthy video. I hope you will appreciate the content that I have prepared for you today. Before we start, I would like to say thank you to everyone who has already ordered my book for children. This is book number 1, Matilda's and Odo's Adventures. If you want more details about this book, I will attach the video in which I am describing the book and the process of ordering it down below in the pinned comment section, as well as in the description box underneath the video. And we will go as well today to the topic of books because Erika Kirk is promoting Charlie's book. Is it Charlie's book? That's another story. This will be the last part of this video because I would like to start this video with part of an email that I have received from one of you some time ago. And this email has a lot of topics, a lot of plots, a lot of themes to follow through and to elaborate on. So I will be diving into this email many times, but in parts. And I'm going to read you just the beginning of it. Just please keep an open mind. We're going to dive into it. So, hey, I have been following you for years and waiting for you to wake up. And now it's finally happened. Putin's grandfather was a chef. He was cooking for both Lenin and Stalin. Lenin is a Jew. Well, was a Jew, and he is related to Swedish actress Greta Garbo. The Soviet Communist Revolution was carried out by Jews, not Russians, and over 85% of the first one was Jewish, most of them not even Russians. Here, this email goes into certain parts that I will be elaborating on in the future. Jewish culture includes so-called kosher food, and therefore Putin's grandfather being a chef for Lenin means that Putin is Jewish. This does not mean that Putin is Jewish, but there are other points that I will be bringing to you that very much are hinting to that, because otherwise none of this really makes sense what we are witnessing. Now, what is important here is this part. This is the beginning of it. Now, important part here as well is about Lenin, embodied body. You know, there is a mausoleum in Moscow with Lenin there, is still in the mausoleum on Red Square. They still worship Lenin like a god. So we go into this for a moment, guys. Why I'm reading you this email is the reason for questioning things again. So let me play a video with Putin. I'm not sure exactly in what year this was recorded, but here is going to be, he's going to make a statement that communist ideology is very similar to Christianity, which is pretty shocking, right? You have the subtitles here, so let me mute myself. And I'm going to take you to Rumble, and let's take a look at this older interview. I don't know if this is 10 years old or something around that time. What he had to say. How this can be that communist ideology is very similar to Christianity. All right, let's take a look and let's take a listen.
Со священнослужителями сразу после революции. Времена изменились. Советские офицеры предельно корректны, они совершенно не настроены как-то зверствовать или святотатствовать.
Патриарх только что рассказывал, когда советские войска готовы были уже войти на острова, на архипелаг, почему-то они остались на берегу и пригласили священнослужителей из монастыря. Один из них поехал, и вдруг советский офицер ему говорит: а сколько вам нужно времени, чтобы все собрать и уехать? Посчитали, там, попросили несколько дней, собрали все самое дорогое в святыне, и сами уехали, и все вывезли. Вы знаете, вот в этой связи я о чем подумал. Конечно, вот в эти тяжелейшие дни гражданской войны и богоборчества потом, когда были заложены вот эти семена раскола в российском обществе, семена единения всегда оставались с нами. В первую очередь, как раз благодаря Русской Православной Церкви. И вот то, что офицеры тогда позволили монахам уехать и вывести святыни, это лучшее свидетельство того, что семена единения, объединения, они никогда нас не покидали.
Кроме того, офицеры Красной Армии разрешили монахам без суеты и спешки проститься со святой для них землей. Под сумрачным небом русского севера, по подтаявшему льду, они с молитвой тронулись в путь. В те годы в нашей стране мало кто понимал значение веры в жизни людей. И Валаам, как истинное зеркало России, отразил это сполна. После окончания Великой Отечественной войны в монастырских корпусах разместили интернат для инвалидов, в который свозили со всей страны тех, кто не мог заработать себе на жизнь, за кем некому было ухаживать.
Как вы думаете, как мы в последнее время, в то время, пока Валаамский монастырь тоже был в руинах, да и страна пока была в руинах, как мы нравственно изменились? И вера, не обязательно даже православная, играет какой-то...
Может быть, я сейчас скажу нечто такое, что кому-то может и не понравиться, но я скажу так, как я думаю. Во-первых, эта вера, она всегда нас сопровождала. Она укреплялась, когда стране нашей, народу нашему было особенно тяжело. Были вот такие совсем жесткие богоборческие годы, когда уничтожали священников, разрушали храмы. Но одновременно ведь создавали новую религию. Вот коммунистическая идеология, она очень сродни христианству на самом деле. Свобода, братство, равенство.
Справедливость.
Это справедливость. Это же все заложено.
All right, so let me just read what he said here. I will mute the video for a moment. One moment, guys. Let me just rewind. In fact, the communist ideology is very similar to Christianity. Freedom, brotherhood, equality, justice. It is all enshrined in the Holy Writ. And what about the moral code of the builder of communism? This is a primitive excerpt from the Bible. Nothing new was invented. Look, Lenin was put in a mausoleum. In what way it is different from the relics of saints? For Orthodox Christians, just for Christians? When I am told that there is no such a tradition in Christian world, I ask, how come? Go to Athos, Mount Athos in Greece, and see holy relics. And we also have here the holy relics of Sergius and Herman. In fact, the then government did not invent anything new. They only adapted to their ideology what humanity had already invented. Finally, okay. So you might say, well, you know, he just made the point because, in his opinion, communism took parts of the Bible and twisted and created their form of religion. But it looks like maybe there is a different reason, because in my opinion, how can you even say something like this when you know very well that communism was seeking to replace God with the government, right? And also that communism was determined to destroy the Christian church. So how can you say that it's very similar to Christianity? I'm just not I'm not understanding the reasoning of his in this statement at all. But you know, there are different layers to this person, as I am discovering. Very interesting take on and reasoning. We're going to go to the destruction of the churches in Russia during the communism that is very similar to Christianity, as Putin said. Now, you know, he didn't want the body of Lenin to be removed from the Red Square. So the reasoning here is this. President Vladimir Putin has maintained a long-standing position that the body of Vladimir Lenin should remain in the mausoleum on Red Square, at least as long as many Russians connect their personal lives and past achievements with the Soviet period. While the issue of burying Lenin's body is a recurrent subject of debate in Russia, often resurfacing around significant anniversaries, Putin has consistently opposed the move to avoid social division and upsetting those with Soviet-era nostalgia. So this is one of the reasons, right, that officially is presented to people. But now let's take a look at how similar to Christianity communism was in Russia. A short documentary to watch. It's translated from Russian into English. I hope you enjoy it.
We had a huge parish, a beautiful church. I mean it. And how wonderful the bell was. Dear Lord, how could they destroy it? And what did they do with it? I don't know. I really don't know. I remember I went to the other village to see it. The bell was broken in half, and yet it was massive. It really was the biggest thing ever. On this icon, you can see the traces of saber blows. When soldiers came to shut the church down in the Tver diocese, they broke in and slashed at this icon. Even the workers charged with dismantling these treasures had trembling hands, as they literally smashed them into small pieces. And all of this happened in complete secrecy. I witnessed it personally. They melted everything in a single crucible. Bronze, copper, silver, every metal used for the bell. The original shapes vanished, and a bust of Lenin appeared in their place. We lived in Petrograd. There, all churches and monasteries had been bombed. All of them had been destroyed. There were no icons left. The walls got painted over. They turned churches into public lavatories. In the winter of 1934, many clergy, priests, monks, and deacons were sentenced to be shot. They also came for the parish elders and just ordinary parishioners. The cold was awful. Digging graves was very hard. The ice was 2.5 meters thick. So the powers that be gave the order to drown them in the Irtysh River. Many of them put up resistance and stood their ground, so that some of them had to be helped on their way with the butt of a rifle. With priests it was different. They would come up to the hole in the ice on the frozen river, cross themselves and say, "May God have mercy on you, because you do not know what you are doing." With these words, they would pull up their cassock and jump into the hole. The huts we used to live in had been built specifically for nuns. On one occasion, when we were digging for something in that area, we came across bones and skulls. They were small. They clearly belonged to women. When I was in 8th grade at school, one day I saw two people sitting in the headmaster's office, and they were talking about me. We know, they told me, that you go to the Catholic Church. Yes, I do, I replied. We want to take you to the anti-religious museum. They hired a guide to walk me around the various relics, bones, and instruments of torture in the museum. After 3 days, they came back, and then again. They took me there 3 times and forbade me to tell anything to my parents.
Я регулярно посещал храмы. Нас так образовалось там.
We attended church regularly. We were a group of 3 or 4 people. We kept on going until they found us out and arrested us.
Выследили и нас цап-царап, так сказать.
My students asked me, was it really dangerous to go to church? Yes, very much so. Once when I decided to go to the Feast of the Epiphany, I made arrangements in case I would not return, because I was sure that the following day, or maybe that same day, I would be sent to Siberia. That was our state of mind going to church.
Вы смотрите, все было уничтожено, практически все храмы, все духовные школы.
Everything had been destroyed, almost all churches, every religious school, and yet the Church of Christ rose again from its own ashes, and it will always do so. This does not occur through human effort, and it will always be so. Even if there was nothing left to build on, God will recreate his church again, even out of rubble.
So now you might wonder why Putin said it, that communism is very close to Christianity. I mean, this is just very short video, a very small glimpse of what took place, right? And I don't know, everything. I don't know a lot about it, but I know enough that that time in Russia was not a good time, and that original Russians are the Christian Orthodox Russians, right? And I've witnessed this, and I felt that energy when I was visiting Russia. And it's something that is very, very special. And I never had any desire whatsoever to even go inside that mausoleum with Lenin at all. So let's go back to my email that I received. Well, not my email, but the email that I received. When someone says about this particular place where Lenin, the mummy of Lenin, right, is placed. Let me just find it. It says right here. One moment, guys, let me find it. It says this. The first interesting happening is the 1913, Vienna. And you know what took place there? In Vienna, and I recorded a video about it, I will make another one. Lenin, Stalin, Hitler, Trotsky, who else was there? They were all in Vienna at the same time, and they were visiting that cafe in Vienna. And also, the second is the practice of communist mausoleums still in place in Russia. So, what is similar here to Chabad, what Chabad does? The query Chabad Lubavitch mummies likely refers to the revered burial sites called Ochels of Chabad Rebbes, especially Ochel in Queens, New York, where Rabbi, the main one, the Messiah, Mendel Schneerson, and his father-in-law, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchok Schneerson, are interred, attracting thousands of pilgrims who pray for blessings. While not literal mummies in the Egyptian sense, these tombs are treated with immense reverence, with visitors often leaving written requests, and the concept of Rebbe as living guiding figure or the potential Messiah is central to Chabad belief, leading to intense devotion even after death, hence the mummy association with preserved spiritual presence. So there is something very weird about keeping that body, still there, even though I know some people were opposing it, they were protesting, they wanted to remove Lenin from that area, but Putin said that, you cannot because it's part of the history. But I always felt like it's kind of creepy, it's kind of strange. So let's look into this Lenin's body. What is the process of keeping it there? How they keep it there? How does it look like? Just for a moment. In my opinion, this is all very strange, very weird. Not good energy at all.
Did you know that every 5 years the clothes worn by Vladimir Lenin's corpse are changed? When Vladimir Lenin, the father of Russian communism, passed in 1924, the government wanted to preserve his body for future generations. At this time, embalming wasn't really a thing in Russia, so they invented a highly complex form of it. Lenin's organs were removed and replaced with a humidifier and pumping system that maintained the body's temperature and fluid intake. Every 18 months, his body requires chemical baths, injections, and evaluation in order to ensure preservation. During the Soviet Union, his clothes were changed annually, but now they are changed every 5 years. Since the collapse of the Soviet Union, people have debated whether or not it is time to bury him. Did you know that every 5 years the clothes worn...
So I think, excuse me, it's very strange. It's very not godlike in my opinion at all. But again, this is just my opinion. So what do I know, right? Maybe some people like Lenin to be there. Some people say that probably Putin's body will replace Lenin's body in the future. I just wonder what kind of body is going to be, because there are so many body doubles that you don't even know. But again, this is just conspiracy. I find this entire connection and the statements that he made very strange. However, we're going to dive into his family roots. Perhaps all of this will make sense if he comes from some Jewish family tree, right? Just simple question. I'm not the only one who thinks like that. Meanwhile, in Ukraine, let me just find you this video. Thank you for your patience again. I have a lot of... Actually, let's not go to Ukraine. Meanwhile, somewhere in the world, we don't really need the sound for this. Let's take a look how other places are being hidden. I'm sure there are many places like this. And not just people with those outfits have them, right? But here we go. Here we go, everyone. Surprise, surprise, a hidden door. But meanwhile, in Ukraine, even though I was reading information about that certain believers are not excluded from participating in the conflict in Ukraine and fighting on the battlefield, it looks like in this post, this one I think was released. Someone says here, wake up, Ukrainian police in Odessa begin stopping and checking the documents of men in Jewish religious attire. This follows a recent trend of Ukrainian men disguising themselves in Jewish clothing to avoid mobilization. Authorities apparently exempt Jewish community members. It's very interesting because, like I said, I was trying to find the evidence that they are excluded, exempt from fighting. So if you know anything about it, guys, please let me know. Because, they have to occupy the new land, right? You know how it is. They have to occupy the new Kazaria 2.0 Heavenly Jerusalem project, absolutely in the making, no question about it. And let me see, yes, since we are on the topic of that country, you know, that should not be mentioned. They will be mentioning what they are planning right now. Well, actually, first I'm going to read you and then I'm going to play a video for you. This is already in the open. 1 second. Here we go. Israel to spend 1 billion on propaganda and bots in 2026, so next year. A budget of 750 million US dollars will be used for Hashbara campaigns as part of the new 2026 budget. There is a lot of $7,000 payments and a lot of bots. Remember that when you are arguing with someone in the comments. So this is a good reminder for all of us, right? Not to give your energy to it. However, here is a video with some statements. If you have delay in the video, I apologize. Sometimes when I play Instagram clips, that's what happens. So here you have an announcement how this will be unfolding. And specifically in this case, I think this is for the US or maybe the entire world, right? Or big part of it. Maybe before I play it, actually, let me
thankful to all of you.
So this is Dr. Mike Evans, who is the founder of Friends of Zion, and he makes some statements and some announcements as far as this budget for 2026 goes. So let's take a listen.
You that been here, but there's somebody that I never get to be with in an event like this, my beloved wife, Carolyn. So I want you to stand, Carolyn. Carolyn is totally selfless. And when I married her, I said, I have to be honest. There's another woman in my life. She said, what? I said, Israel. I love her so much. I have to be with her a lot. She said, honey, I will let you do that. But if she ever calls me on the phone, you are dead. We are going to train 100,000 Christian ambassadors to be ambassadors in their own country for the state of Israel, to defend Israel's brand and to combat anti-Semitism. Now, the beautiful part about this is we're partnering with Blackboard. Blackboard is the largest platform in the world, serving Harvard, Yale, all the major universities. The vice president of Blackboard is here. It's a $2.3 billion company. Would you stand, please? Would you give him a hand? Using adaptive learning technology. So we'll train these wonderful Christian evangelicals so that they can fulfill what I am doing for the state of Israel. Secondly, we're creating FOSS-I, an online academy to train tens of millions of evangelicals. The power of the evangelical muscle is enormous. It represents almost 1 billion people, but no one ever harnessed it. And we're doing that here. We're creating the first evangelical think tank, the first evangelical research institute, so the state of Israel will know who they are and how they can contribute to the state of Israel. We're, of course, a social network campus and much more. So that's exciting for us. The second thing I want to announce is in our Friends of Zion Museum, we are going to build the Donald Trump exhibition. No president in American history has done more for the state of Israel than Donald Trump. The Media Center is indeed a gift to Israel. You can use it Ambassador Friedman. You can use it for any event you want for the foreign ministry, etc., because we are doing this all for Israel. It's all about Israel. I'm so thankful to all of you that have been here.
So everyone, you heard it, right? What is it? Blackboard. So we have black rock, black cube. You know the cube they put here, right? Black stripe, or this tape, black tape around the hand, the arm. Now you have the blackboard. They like this black thing, right? Going right in the open. Lots of money invested to train people. And since we are on the topic of money, just very briefly, I'm not going to go deeper into this because probably you already either heard of it or read about it. Let's see. Thank you for your patience again. So, Donald Trump Jr. backed startup has been awarded $620 million US Pentagon loan. Donald Trump's venture fund, 1789 Capital, invested in Vulcan Elements, a rare earth magnet startup, which recently secured a massive $620 million loan from the Pentagon, Department of Defense, as part of a larger $1.4 billion US deal to boost domestic magnet production. This funding, the largest ever from the Pentagon's Office of Strategic Capital, followed 1789 Capital's investment just 3 months prior, raising questions about potential conflicts of interest. Through both the company and Trump Jr.'s spokespeople deny political influence in the deal, according to reports from early December 2025. So that's what's up. I don't know, this is good thing or bad thing, right? So you decide. Now let's go to another very much I love Israel, it's all about Israel person who is promoting not her book, but her late husband's book that he has written and finished just before he's been removed this way or the other. So just a few more things from, I think she's absolutely a witch. And I said, there are many different kinds of witches. I think she's one of those witches, or very, very deeply MK Ultra, how do you say MK Ultra? Can you say this? Like, she was under an MK Ultra procedure. Sorry guys, it's early in the morning and I'm like trying to find my words. So let's take a look at Erika Kirk book tour.
I genuinely don't care. I really don't. I've told you this before. When you kiss the bloody dead body of the person that you love, it pales in comparison to being called XYZ. Charlie understood the importance of social media, of how to reach a generation that was not paying attention to conventional news. It's the type of generation that is watching TikTok and X and Instagram, getting their news from influencers, not truly journalists.
Oh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I know. I love you.
So many names.
So I guess, actually, I don't guess, I'm pretty sure I would be in this, I am in this category. I'm not a journalist and I'm not an influencer. I'm just someone who has a YouTube channel and is bringing news to you. So you should just listen to the news reporters. And I just want to remind all of us, you know, if we ever forget, but how could we, how the PSYOPs work and how easy people are buying into those psyops. So let's just take a quick time travel here. Those are real pictures, okay? This is not AI. Photos from the Schmovit era that still feel unreal today. Let's go through this, everyone. Those are real pictures. I remember those. You remember this? Look. Look, what is this? Yeah. Haircut. Yep. Here we go. Here we go. So that's how psyops work. And if people are still buying the narratives that they are being presented with, any of those narratives, I think at this point we know, my audience, I think most of you know exactly how people are being manipulated and played and delusioned. Instead of going for the answers within, Jesus said, the kingdom is within you, right? They seek the answers from politicians, leaders, gurus, name it. As far as her book tour goes, she's going to be on every channel at this moment promoting Charlie's book. And I am absolutely selfishly, but without any problem, promoting my book. Why not? She's promoting Charlie's book over his dead body, as she said. This is my book for children. No sponsorships, just me. No contract with the publishing house, just my money that I put aside and decided to illustrate this book. The link to order it, pre-order it actually, is in the process of being printed right now. I order the prints, I pay for the prints, and then I sell the book. That's how it looks like in my case. And I'm very happy that I have the book and I have the audience, and some of you are already buying it. Thank you so much. You find the link down below the video, how to order it, pre-order it. This is book number 1. We have 5 in total. So I'm sure the children you give it to will really enjoy it. And I can guarantee you that I have written this book. So all the links about what I was telling you today, you find down below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching my channel and my videos. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for all your love, or your kind words, or your support. And let me know, what do you think? Nice see you in the next video, guys. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.